Morning guys, Chris Murray once again from the Phenomenal Group with the Phenomenal Podcast. This week focusing on the importance of brand, okay? So, when you talk about brand, people automatically think that you're speaking about just the business in general, but a brand is obviously so much more than just a business and a business name. Right, okay. It's one of these things that we speak about a lot to our clients, and we talk to them about how we want them to grow their brand and how their brand is seen compared to how they grow their business, because they're obviously they're two separate things. You look at a business, you look at your general sales and your staff and turnover, etc., and what profit you're making and what losses, etc. And then you look at your brand and what your brand stands for, how it sounds, the tone of voice, how it looks, how people see it, how they perceive it. Would they buy from you? Do they know you're a reputable company? Can they trust you? And those are things that people sort of don't separate when it comes to brand and business. So we always like to advise that you should be consistent with your brand. Your brand should look the same, sound the same, on your social media platforms, in your marketing material, and everything that you're looking to try and do with your brand in order to grow it so that it sticks in the minds of people. Okay, looking at brands, you're looking at different ways in which it can be seen. We all know brands. We all think of household brands when we see them just based off a little teaser of an advert on TV, or something that pops up on a billboard. We've come to recognise them. Okay, Coca-Cola, for an example, we're getting towards that time of year where the Coca-Cola truck starts to appear on our TV screens. AO, obviously we had AO Let's Go. We recognise their colours. Looking at DFS, they've always got a DFS sale on. That's their brand. They're a DFS sale. Okay, and then looking at the way it is with sports. Obviously, Michael Jordan was synonymous with the Chicago Bulls, number 23. Out of that, got Air Jordan. Wrestling-wise, you're looking at people who have lived a brand for all these years. Nature Boy Ric Flair. Okay, for the last 50 years, I know he's in trouble at the minute with some of the things, obviously, that have come out about him recently. But for 50 years, he was that brand. He was the brand Ric Flair. He was styling and profiling, limousine riding, jet flying. He's walking around in $2,000 suits back in the 70s, walking around with different Rolexes. He encompassed what his persona was in wrestling and created an actual brand before brands became brands. Going back over the last 30 years, The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, perhaps one of the greatest characters in the history of wrestling, created a brand off the back of just basically wearing black and no selling throughout his day. About his personal life, he would be out dressed in black. He would have the eye makeup on. He would talk dead slowly, calmly. He would move slowly. Even though he, as an actual person, is a totally different person, he created this mystique and this aura around his own personal brand for his character that he was portraying within the WWF, WWE. Hulk Hogan, as an example. You always think about yellow and red. You're looking at Hulk Hogan, mid-80s, ripping the t-shirt off, brother. 24-inch pythons, all that. Built his own brand off his colour scheme, the way he spoke, the way he moved, the way he talked, the way he engaged with his audience. And this was all before social media, that these guys were building brands, okay? And I'm not saying to you, that you want to be thinking about at the moment building a brand as big as Hulk Hogan or as big as Ric Flair or as big as Coca-Cola, AO, etc. But you've got to understand that your brand needs to be on point. It needs to be consistent. It needs to come across in all your marketing. You want people to look at your business and say, oh yeah, I recognise that brand. Yeah, that brand's a household name in X, Y, and Z households. Okay, good example for you. A bit of a local one. Done a bit of work with them previously. Company called Senior Waste Removals. Okay, they did well, they are obviously a waste removal company, and their logo is like a lime green with Senior Waste in black writing. Okay, so it stands out a little bit, and they've gone from being one bloke Warren with a van to about 6 or 7 staff, 4 vans, and you're able to recognise them when you see them. They are black vans with Senior Waste written across them, and they've got obviously images of stuff that they've done, work that they've done, etc. On the back of the truck. But they also were a bit cheeky with their brand and got registration plates that resembled, words with regards to waste that were expletives. So, they came up with like shit or crap or turd as their registration plates for their vans, so that you would see that, think it's funny or think it's rude, but you know who it relates to and what brand it relates to. So there's many ways of doing it, and I think that a lot of business owners get lost in the thing of thinking, well, I have a brand, but you don't have a brand. You haven't built a brand. You've built a business, but you haven't built a brand that is on the like everybody's lips. I mean, I know that I'm always still brand building. I keep my content looking similar colour schemes, similar tone of voice, try to push the envelope with things a little bit every now and then, try to be a bit cheeky with it, and try to remind people that we put out good content and we create good content for our clients, and we create phenomenal graphics and phenomenal marketing, trying to be consistent and hammering home that point. I mean, it's one of those things where now I'll get messages off people about different things that they've seen, like somebody's website might be down, or it might not be done the way that somebody else will be used to, and we'll just be having a chat about it via WhatsApp or via text, and it'll lead to them saying, well, it certainly wasn't done phenomenally, or I go into a cafe and I'm not known as Chris, I'm known as Mr. Phenomenal, because they didn't know my name, but they'd seen my logo on my branded hoodie. It's building that brand and letting people know what your brand is, and you becoming associated with that brand to a point where you become an extension of it. Okay? And I think that's one of the things where, as a business owner, we want to sort of separate being a business owner to being a brand, and we need to look at how people focus on brand building and being consistent with that content, and looking at making sure that everything marries up. And bigger companies have their marketing manager who will do things within brand guidelines. It'll look the same, it'll sound the same, and it's meant to, because that's their role. They're meant to put across that brand, and they're meant to showcase what people do and what their business does, and that's why they're in that role. Now, if you're a smaller business and you don't have that budget for a permanent employed marketing manager, then you need to look at how you can get your brand to grow and how you can create it over that period of time. And that involves taking a lot of time out of your day and looking at it and going, right, okay, so I'm going to build my brand. I want it to look like this. I want it to sound like this. This is what the colour scheme is. I know that this is the type of typeface that I use for any of my content, that the graphics, video, stuff like that. It is time consuming. It does take a lot of time to grow a brand, but the rewards are fantastic when you grow a brand big enough that people start to talk about you. They start to recommend you. They buy from you consistently. And those are the things that you need to remember. You've got your business, you've got your day-to-day running of your business, you've got your clients coming in, you've got your customers, you're selling your goods, you're selling your products and your services. That's brilliant. But to take it to that next level, it's all about brand. It's all about being consistent with it. It's all about building something that's sustainable and stands the test of time. So just from me, key points to take out of it is start to focus on your brand. Think about how you want it to sound. It might be a case of that you're not happy with the way your logo looks at the minute, and you might think that it needs a fresh coat of paint on it, or it might need you to sit down and think, actually, business-wise, going okay, but I could do so much more. Can I afford that new house? Can I afford that new car? Can I afford that trip away that I want? how am I going to get there? Well, if I build this brand consistently and more people start to buy from me, and more people start to recognize what I'm trying to do, then that's achievable. Okay, never be scared of trying to grow a brand. I've been trying for a couple of years to help the brand grow, and it has been growing, and can't fault that at all. No problem with it whatsoever. I just think that, you know, people need to understand that growing a brand can be a lot of hard work, and you need to be consistent with it, and you need to take that time to cultivate it and to grow a community with it through socials, and look at your digital billboards, and look at your marketing in, you know, like local papers and local magazines and local handouts, etc. Even to a degree, networking. When you turn up networking, are you handing out a business card with the brand on? Are you turning up looking like you represent your brand? I mean, I know I'm not at the minute. For those that are watching this on YouTube, I need a bit of a shave, but my brand has become me. It is me, and however I look and however I appear is what the brand looks like. Whereas you and your staff, you might be a bit more hamstrung with regards to what you want to do. You know, so it's all about thinking about it properly and looking at how you want to take it to that next level. If obviously you do want to have a conversation about it and you want to discuss how we as a business can help you grow your brand and how we can help to move you on to the next level, then we're always happy to have that conversation. Like I say, my name's Chris Murray, owner of the Phenomenal Group, a social media marketing, advertising and branding agency. You know, this has been the Phenomenal Podcast. If you've not had a chance to, guys, then basically like and subscribe to this on our YouTube channel, give it a share on Facebook and Twitter, etc. And, you know, just help us obviously spread the word, because we're trying to make sure that businesses are on that right path to trying to succeed in life, because it's been a rough 18 months for people, and obviously some people are starting over again, some people, you know, not missed a beat, but it's all about trying to help people. So have a great day, guys, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.